I feel that the worst part of being a professor is that I actually have to lie. I have to tell people what they actually want to hear, not that everything that you're going to do is going to be tremendously difficult and there's going to be a lot of adversity along the way. And if I tell you the truth about how long things will actually take, realistically, it's going to take 5 times 100 times as much as you thought it was going to take when you began on a very difficult journey. Nobody would ever do it. And it is one of these things that eats me up inside when I try to tell the truth of what it actually looks like and the challenges that you're going to face. I see this all of the time. And in fact, this is the advice that's often given to me is why would you ever say that? Why? Why would you tell the truth? And, it's because I think that you have to come at it with the baseline. There's a different story that's told, and I want you to listen to this. The fact that we lie to you, I think, is actually harmful. The fact that we tell you, and a lot of educators do this, that you can do something, and they paint a very rosy picture of what it takes to actually get there and all of the things that you're going to do, and it's going to be very perfect and it's going to be very quick. And I see this so many times in coaching and educating, and even parents do this a lot, where they tell people it's going to be very easy and you just have to do these things. And inevitably, when you do those things, you fail. And inevitably, most times it doesn't work out as you thought it would be. And then you quit. Almost everybody does. They look at this and they quit and they say, I'm never going to do this again because it was a lot harder than I thought it would be. My perspective is you tell the truth. You come in and you say it's going to be miserably difficult. And along the way, if it is easier, if you get a lucky break and things work out as planned and things were a lot easier, well, then that's fantastic. Then you actually got to where you were going to go to and you're going to be very enthusiastic. But if you tell the story of the truth that is going to be difficult, you're going to have to get back up and do it again. You're going to have to do the things that nobody wants to do. You're going to have to ignore what people think of you. You're going to have to be ugly most of the times and feel foolish and feel like you don't know what you're doing most of the time. Then I believe that you will get back up again because you know that that is a normal experience. You understand that this is a thing that you're going through. One of the things that we like to delude ourselves is things are easy. And I think it's a human emotion or something to do with getting people to say, oh, I can do this. But I think that that's inevitably, in the long run, that's harmful for all of us. I want you to look around and see people for who they actually are. And you'll realize that most people, almost everybody, doesn't continue on. They don't do anything that's really important in their lives. They kind of give up on themselves because they realize that life is often hard. Life is often challenging, and they give up on themselves. They don't realize it is in the joy of getting up from that pain. It is in the joy of experiencing it. It is in the joy of going through that grinding steps every day where people ignore you. They don't understand what you're talking about and they think you're crazy and they want to stay away from you. It is in that joy of building up spite where you say, well, you know what? You didn't believe in me? Good on you. I'm going to get back up and do this again despite the fact that you don't believe in me. I'm going to do this repeatedly and get back up and go through those motions and build something that nobody else understands. And once you process that and think about it, where it is in that disappointment, It is in that nobody believes in me where you actually do grow and where things actually do happen, then all of a sudden things change. When you come in thinking that it's going to be rosy, when you come in thinking that everything in your life is going to work out the way that it's supposed to be, you're not prepared for life. You're not prepared for life. Nobody in their right mind has everything work out for them. Maybe I can think of a few people, but man, when you hear their story, it still did not work out for them. I'd encourage you to think about how difficult it is going to be. And I'm not saying don't quit. I'm not saying don't be foolish and give up on that dream. I'm saying get out there and realize it's going to be difficult. Nobody's going to believe in you. People are going to say that you're foolish, you're stupid, you're all of those things, and you're going to get back up and you're going to do it again. I want you to look at just the numbers. Realistically, the numbers are pretty pathetic for almost anything. Look at the number of people that try and say they're going to learn a language. Nobody ever does. Look at the number of people that go out and try to build a company. Nobody ever does. Look at the number of people that go out and they say that they're going to get an education. Man, that failure rate out of education is ridiculous. So if you come into it knowing it's going to be hard, you're going to study and you're going to do your work and you're going to do everything that you can possibly to do better. And I just want you to come into it realizing that it's all a grind and you're going to get back up and you're going to do it again, despite what everybody thinks of you. All right, take care and have a wonderful day. Bye.